Good morning, guys. Welcome to Words from a Friend podcast. I'm your host, Marty Carey, and this is the podcast that follows my book, Words from a Friend, A Daily Guide to a Purposeful Life. It's available at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. We're on a 365-day inner journey together, so happy and grateful to have you along. We're on day 77 of that journey. Today's a special one. Very special. If you got the book, you already know. The Art of Loving Yourself. The Art of Loving Yourself. It's a two-pager today. Woo! All right, we are all here on a collective journey, as well as a very unique and individual one. We are part of the collective. We're part of the collective of light, and yet we have our own version of it. We are our own individualized, created version, created by the light intentionally. You're here. You're here on purpose. You're chosen to come here. All right? That's an honor. It doesn't seem like it all the time. I'll give you that. But it is an honor because you get to grow your chops here. You get to grow your chops. You get to, you forget who you are, and then you get to remember who you are. Once you remember who you are, it's, game over. You're game on, really. Game on. You start living your life more fully and with intention and with meaning and purpose. Meaning and purpose. That all comes from what we're talking about here today, in loving yourself. It only happens when that starts. When you start loving yourself, well, that means you're connecting to the light, your own light, the light that we call God, the universe, the omnipresence of unconditional love, That's the best we can describe it, is unconditional love. We love without condition. Well, in the ego world, man, that's a tough one, isn't it? Tough one. Because we don't like a lot of things that are going on here. How do we love in that world? Well, here's the thing. Once you start loving yourself and you start taking 100% responsibility for yourself as the project, and saying that's not an arrogant, self-centered way, but as, all right, I've got work to do here in this place. It's not just all fun and games. The work is bringing the light to bear here, bringing your light to bear here as a beneficial presence to this place. To help wake it up, to help take it from the evil that we see, to take ourselves away from ignorance of not knowing and remembering that we are the light. Okay, we take ourselves away from our own ignorance by returning home inside to a place that is in there, the heaven within. Right? It's the way you'd want to live if this place wasn't full of fear and full of hate and full of anger and full of constant battle and conflict. You end the conflict within by just choosing to live in your own light. And what happens then is when you're consistent about it, it just emanates out into the world. It's a ripple. You become the ripple. You become a ripple of light instead of just vibing with the rest of the world in ego. Right? You get off that hamster wheel of nonsense and you get onto your own love wheel and you start creating in the favor of what's most important to you in your world, in your personal world, that lights you up and keeps everything in nice balance in your own world. That only ever starts with being okay with who you are, being comfortable in your own suit, being comfortable in your own skin. You never get there without self-love. You got to get rid of that self-hatred, wherever you learn that from. Could have been a well-meaning parent, but it was just what they were taught as well. You got to really have the ability to look within, to go home to that heaven within. You got to be able to chuck away the ignorance of what no longer belongs and what is not serving the outside world. You're here to be a helper. Not a servant, not in servitude, but in service to the fellow lights and to the light itself. All right? You don't have to like the other egos that are out there. But underneath all of those egos is source energy. Source comes from the source of where we come from, the source of all creation, the source of our best ideas, the source of our dreams, the source of the will to do it, and the ability to do it, the power to do it, comes from that eternal source. Okay? We're all from that source. All right, and when we take the masks off of this costume party of hell in many cases, we create our own hell in so many ways. We just with that ignorance of not knowing. We create our own hell. But once we realize that we're 100% responsible, and that's not a bad thing. I get to take care of this car. I get to make sure it's running right. This is my responsibility. And how it runs in life and how it travels in life is my responsibility. 100% accountability is what changes your world. The only way you'll take that is by learning to love yourself more and more every day. The inner journey. The inner journey. You realize you're the soul, that you're not the ego. You have an ego. It's your avatar and what you've learned, but you can completely recreate it through self-love. Through self-love. Doing new things that you've always wanted to do, but you've never given yourself permission to do because you never think you could do it. And all those lower crappy ideas of, inner pessimism of yourself. Inner hatred, loathing. We all have had it. There's no shame in it. The shame is if you don't do anything about it. If you don't do anything about it for yourself, right? Because you are the generator of your own energy. You're it. And when you side with God, then you go, okay, all right, I got the steam. It's my motivation to get started. And then once you get started, you get going and it starts to pull you. And then it pulls you into beautiful new directions, away from the stuff that you no longer need in your life. We all know what they are. You have to just take the brave steps to move forward from them. Self-love. That's first and foremost. You're never going to walk away from anything that's negative that you feel like you're trapped in unless you have enough love for yourself to do it. That's where it is. That's the power to do it. I love myself enough to leave this toxic relationship or whatever it is. I leave this job. I leave this, path that I've been on. Path of self-destruction. Just from, believing in the ignorance, the voice of the ignorance, the false self, the one that's just earthly created. Get it? Get it? I hope you do. And hopefully you're getting a little bit more every day because you're doing that. You're moving more into your light and believing in that. And then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, it's like, oh my God, it's so stupid living the other way. Just thinking I knew it all. Just thinking I knew enough. I know it all. I know that stuff. Yeah, that positivity stuff. Yeah, I've tried that. I tried it. It's like you're trying a hamburger from a different place. No, it's not like that at all. It's who you really are. You're discarding what isn't you. What isn't worthy of being the beautiful soul that you are. What isn't worthy of it. There's a lot of things on this earth that people gravitate to that are not worthy. They're not worthy. They look worthy because they're pretty shiny. And they can, you can look good to everybody else outside. Look at how shiny that is. And look. But what you're looking for really is the inner shine. So you don't need anybody else's eyes to validate the shine that you feel yourself within. No, that's the gold. The gold is knowing you. The gold has always been the inner journey to find that real you. So, I didn't even read the first paragraph yet. Okay, here we go. All right, we're here to uncover our true nature and also recognize it in others. Comparing yourself to others and their journey is the game of the ego. Comparison. Constant comparison. The ego constantly compares, judges, evaluates, rates, puts you in a position where you think, I'm a little lower than them. I'm a little higher than them. Everybody has this internal rating system from the ego. No. Nope. How are you giving? How are you walking away? That's just it. You don't have to compete with anybody. Your heart will tell you what to say and what to do. It can be completely relaxed. It's not like you got to be out there, you're shooting off like you're Cupid or you're throwing hearts everywhere and you're, selling flowers or giving flowers away at the airport. You're just going to do it your natural way, your natural loving way. That's all that's required for you to grow. Because you'll see in that growth, I'm not going to bother with that stuff anymore. I really like this stuff. This stuff seems like it's a good vibe. There's some good people involved in that. I really want to be doing something like that that's purposeful and, moving in the right direction. But always recognize there's going to be egos wherever you go. So you always have to be in your good space. And, you could just go and be in spaces for short times that make you feel good. People that make you feel good. And that's enough. Nature. That stuff. That brings you closer than anything. Nature brings you closer than anything to the truth, if you ask me. Nature's the true church. It is. It's where you feel you're a church inside. You're a walking church. You're a walking church. You have direct access to the divine. You need no middleman. Right here, the light. You are it. You're connected at all times, unless you pinch yourself off with your ego or not loving yourself. Not loving yourself is so many times. It's just being in the ego. It's not loving yourself because you're not recognizing who you are. You can be kind and all that stuff, and that's the mask of the ego, kind mask. But when you walk in it and you just know that's just the way you're gonna, and the other one is just a lie, well, that's when your life changes. It takes on a completely more beautiful direction. All right, I hope you're walking in it. Too many times we want to affix a marker on where we think we are in our lives compared to others. When we indulge in this negative game, we either find negative judgment of ourselves, which leads to self-esteem issues, or we make ourselves more or less than others, and when we perceive fellow souls as less than us or more than us. This shuts off the connection to our own true self and the potential for having a beautiful relationship with those as we judge less or more than ourselves. This is no more or less than we are there is no more or less than where we really come from. There's no more or less than. And it's just, look at the costume they've got on. They must be very wealthy. I'd like to know that. I mean, we're all wearing masks. You know what I mean? Come on. You got it. It's in the future. It's not going to be, that's not how we're going to recognize each other of and we do it now. It's called vibe. It's called vibe. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Right? So what tribe do you want to attract? You want to attract people that bring you peace and value your presence, and aren't there to compete or compare, or not doing that, and every time you're around and all that stuff. Yeah, I'd rather be in nature, all that stuff. But I think we're all moving in that direction, aren't we? Just a more happy, peaceful life and peace with our neighbors. All the wars and the turbulence that's been going on, if it's not teaching us to do that, then we're just going to sink into it and it'll be done. It'll just be done, right? But we have an opportunity here. We have a great opportunity to say, no, take a hike to that world. We're building anew. We're builders. We're builders. We're builders of light. And when we build with our light, a whole new world is created instead of building with ego. Different builder altogether inside you. Inside you. There's builders. You get choice. Which one you're going to build with? Ignorance, what you think you know everything, or you're putting yourself in different positions that are not true because you just don't know. Once you know, you're much more consistent in a direction that you're purposeful about, that there's meaning behind, that your heart is into. That is where you'll know your greatest success. That's how you'll know your greatest success. It'll feel good. You're doing something good all along the way. All along the way. Part of the process. It's part of the ingredient in whatever you're creating. So the final product that you create is made with love. It's beautiful. Whatever it is. If you're not doing it to make money, if you're doing it just for your own personal inner joy, that's enough. That's more than enough. My God. We're here to experience much joy. Much joy. Creative joy, I found, is the best, right? Doesn't matter if anybody else likes it, as long as you do, as long as it comes from your heart. When we go about finding our own self-worth by comparing ourselves and our station in life, our beauty, our prosperity, our talents, or any other facet of our lives to that of another, we only rob ourselves and others of the truth. In comparison. In order to live your life in victory, in your true power, you must cease this destructive practice and replace it with self-love. Right? Comparison. Nope. Jettison the comparison. Once you recognize that who you want to be, and the only power that you'll get and keep you there is love. Love includes many facets. Knowing we possess the power that creates worlds, what does it leave out? What does it leave out? Nothing. Love doesn't leave any tools out that you'll need to get where you want to go. Has them all. Has them all. But you just got to recognize yourself as the commander of that ship, the captain of that ship, the only one that sees the vision that you see, sees that beautiful island at the end of the creation, that's your vision, well, you're going to find the way there. You just keep your eye on that's the prize. But in the present moment, you're creating, is every step, every beautiful step, every little tiny beautiful step adds up to a beautiful outcome. And there's going to be some ugly, trips and falls in those steps. Keep moving, right? You keep moving. Despite those, keep going, right? Smile while you're striding along. Here we go. Love preserves. Love preserves because it's eternal. Love takes risk because it's an endless stream, and it knows the quickest path to your deepest desires. The other stuff is static on your way to your deepest desires. Ego is static. It's like, it can stop you from getting there with disbelief in yourself. Self-doubt could stop you every time. God doesn't give you doubt. God gives you everything you need. All the tools are there in that light. So self-doubt is when you cast out. You hear it. You feel it in there. It's like, I don't know if I can do it. But you've done it a million times in little ways all along your life. The bigger ones are just a bigger idea. Just a bigger idea. But if you've done it in the other ways and you've been successful in the other ones, this is just the next big step for you. So it's okay. Take it. Take it. It's in your wheelhouse, and it's the next logical step for you to take. Take it. Okay? Take it. You'll see. And then make it successful. Take it and make it. All right? You just keep going. Keep growing. You grow through it as you go through it. Okay? Let's see. Wishing you were anything or anyone else other than who you are pinches off your flow. Don't hand that off. Don't sell your soul, to wish you were somebody else. God created you just to be exactly the way you are. So shine in that suit of yours for you first. And then, man, once you love yourself, you're not going to be afraid to be yourself. You're not going to be afraid to be yourself. So who doesn't like it? It will not matter. It will not matter. Isn't that the most important thing? God loves you just the way you are, created you just the way you are. Anybody that seemingly rejects you it's a redirection. It's not a rejection. It's a redirection. Okay? Not meant to be in your life. Not meant for you. Better things are coming. Better ways, better people, better flow. Stay in your flow. Staying in your flow is just staying in the connection of God. Your love are connected. The sons, your son and the son. Right? Got it. That's the drill. Alignment. Okay. Loving yourself must be first and foremost in your life. Why? Why? Because the act of loving yourself brings you into alignment with the energy of the loving force that created you. Yeah. That's what it just said. The more you deny this by self-hatred, self-loathing of any kind, the more you separate yourself or pinch yourself off from the true power. Get it? You're pinching yourself off by not trusting it, not having faith in that sweet yourself you are. You're like, oh no, I'm just this human, and I came from my mom's belly, and yeah, all that's true. But you're a spirit in that human, and you can create something great for your whole life and those that follow you. What else would you want to do is why you were here. Is why you were here. It's just being your best self. And you make that a little brighter by sloughing off what hasn't been your best self along the way. Along the way. All right? Once you've completely accepted yourself, supposed flaws and all, offer compassion to yourself instead of listening to your inner critic. Flaws are just opportunities that we see to say, okay, is this a flaw, or is this something that I need to grow from? Flaw. God makes no mistakes. We're here to work on ourselves. The mistake would not be working on ourselves. That's the flaw. That would be the flaw, not working on ourselves. All right? Not taking God up on his offer of expansion of our light and our life and beauty, beautiful life. That comes from that connection, my friends. Steadily, knowingly, you can trust it. You can trust it where you can't trust your ego. It's just a tumbleweed. Changes its mind, changes course in every shiny object that, I don't know, I'm not doing, not change my, not, you're kind of just willy-nilly chaos all over the place. Well, You're out of the flow. You're in the flow of your monkey mind, not knowing which way to turn, because you have no steady rudder inside. The steady rudder is your connection. And when you work on that relationship, you're working on the relationship with yourself to work on that relationship with God. The work you do on yourself is the clearing of the garbage that allows your connection to come through clearly. You know, it's like a basement full of stuff, but under all that stuff is a light beam, just always shining. But we clutter over it with old crappy beliefs about ourselves and about the world and bad attitude and all that stuff that comes so easy in this world, because negativity is pervade, you know, like a daily diet of garbage. All right, comparing your higher perspective to what you used to believe instead of someone else's personal worldview of you will be your ticket to growth and a life well lived. Right? We curse ourselves when we either believe in our own negative perceptions of ourselves, or worse yet, take on the negative perspective of us in someone else has given us about us. You know what I mean? That hurts, right? Lies are lies. Break the curse. But, you know, if there's something in there, it's like the truth hurts a lot of times, right? It's like, oh, that truth hurts. I haven't worked on that. It's true. It's true. You know, sometimes we have to take account for that and say, Jesus, it's in a special relationship of ours. You know what I mean? Haven't taken account for something. It's like, how do you expect the relationship to grow when we don't take account for things along the way and grow along the way? Because the relationship won't grow. It'll just go beep. It'll be like that. One person wants to grow. One person wants to stay. No need to. I'm happy where I am. That's fine. But just no energy grows where energy goes. So if you're just staying in mediocre town, it's going to stay comparing to people, competing with people, you know, looking outside for satisfaction, outside of myself for satisfaction. It's all in here. Like I said, it's like the sack lunch from mom. It's already in you. You just have to access it and exercise it. Exercise it. Okay? It's the soul work. It's a soul workout. All right. Our false self feeds us a daily diet of lies and negative energy, but only if we let it. Talk about it every day. Which one are we feeding? Which mindset are we allowing to guide our day? That crappy attitude, the one that's looking at people as pawns, you know, all that other stuff, and it's just whatever it is. You know, are you present? Are you present are you in your soul? Are you in your mindset of your ego? Once you know the difference, you'll be the better commander of your ship. You have to take account for it. But once you do and take command of it, you're going to sail a much better life. Don't you want that? You got it. You got to do it. It's the gift of love to yourself, my friend. This is a gift to yourself. It's not like you're giving the world a gift. You know, the one you're out there right now just complaining and comparing all the time. That's not the gift to the world. That keeps the world where it is in the things we don't want anymore. The bitching and moaning and complaining and fighting and feuding and conflict. You know, chaos. Constant chaos in the world. Yuck. It's only because we're all buzzing in constant chaos that they taught us to stay in. We're free. Each of us are free unless we jail ourselves. And we jail ourselves in our own ego. Once we break out of that whole concept, and once we know the truth, we can wield and create much more beautiful life. Much more beautiful things in our life. Okay? New people, new relationships, all of it. All right. Choosing to shift into a higher gear from the minute we wake up will be the choice of true living. Believing, knowing, living, and spreading this truth raises you, and it raises the world. We must all wake up to who we really are. Choosing to believe that you are more or less than anyone else just wasted life energy in the wrong direction. We're using our imagination. Our imagination is such a gift. But we have all, in the collective, created the world we're living in. As part of it, of our little fractal of it. Because we're all participating in what's still here, instead of creating what we want in the new. Well, the foundation of the new has got to be based in light, not in fear. The old is based in fear. Greed, you know, separation, dog eat dog, that world. If you want to live in that world, you're just going to be, don't do anything. It'll just suck you right in, suck you right up, and suck you right down. That's what that world is. We want something different for everybody, for all of us. It doesn't matter about race, color, creed, political, it doesn't matter any of that. All of us from the same source came here to do one thing, and once we get our shit together, we're doing it. And we are doing it more and more every day. More and more every day. That's what we're here to do, my friends. Get to know the God within you, and then we connect that. It's over for the evil. Okay, today's CTA. Unless you love even the parts of you wish to change. You got to love them into the light. Those supposed flaws, you love them into the light, which means you put them in the light and say, okay, what do you need? What do you need from me? All right, we're going to grow that together. We're going to grow a better way together in this area. So I take it out of that wheelhouse of, I create a better tool for that part of my life, right? I am that. I have that ability to hone, create. This is it. This is your own avatar to create, recreate, mold, shape anew every day. You are the magician of your own life, my friend. Okay, so today, shine some love on those areas of yourself that you continue to judge and curse. We're not doing that anymore. We're not cursing ourselves in any way. We're not judging ourselves. We're just shining a light on it, a loving light, a compassionate light when you're looking inside. It's a light of compassion. It's like, okay, I believed a lot of things, a lot of lies out there. All right, not my fault, but it is my responsibility. Not all my fault, but it is my responsibility to kick out what no longer belongs in my house, so I get my house in ship shape and can do what I came here to do, live how I came here to live. Peace, love, and joy, happiness, harmony, health, wealth, and wisdom, divine love, and divine protection. That's what lives in the light. That's what lives there. And you're already it. Discard the bullshit. Discard it. A little bit every day. And then replace it. Replace those old thoughts with the ones that the light knows about you, speaks about you, and says, you got all it takes. Because you do have all it takes. All right, go out there and get it today. One day at a time. One step at a time. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm just going to love you from here till we go home. All right? And I'm going to love you from here till I find all of me in here, till I find all of me. And let go of what was not me, what was never meant to be me, and I believed was me. It wasn't. Nope. Self-doubt, all that other crap is not you. You're beautiful. You're amazing. Love yourself, and then love what you do into existence. Love those parts of you up into here. Love those parts that you've disowned. Love them up into, all right, I accept you. I accept. But we're going to guide. You're going to be guides, all right? And a lot of times it's going to be, okay, you're reminding me of what not to do. It's fine. That's fine. That's how you sail, right? You see the rocks. You see the iceberg. You're going to sail around it now. You used to hit them every time, but not anymore. You got a new guide. Your truth. Your eternal truth, which lies within you, my friend. Much love today, everybody. Let's go out and spread the good stuff, and we shall see you tomorrow. Go to the snowman. Have a cone. Enjoy. Much love.